There is an old question about love. Is it better to have loved and lost than to have never loved at all? For 72 years, South Melbourne waited. The community fought to keep their club alive, then watched it move across the country to a city where Australian football spent generations fighting to be seen. South Melbourne became Sydney. The colours remained, the history remained, and somehow everything else grew. Then, that mark, 4 points. And in that moment, the drought was over. Generations who'd wondered if they'd ever see it happen. There it was, proof. Maybe that's what football love is. The moment it finally gives something back. Then the next year, one goal from being back-to-back, one kick from an entirely different history. But Sydney didn't give up. They came back, building something unique. A club, a culture, an icon. Once you've tasted that ultimate success, you know exactly what you're missing when it's gone. 4 times this team proved they were good enough to get there, and 4 times they walked away without it. That's the cruelty. Teams don't lose grand finals. They watch them over and over, every single time they fall asleep. Yet Sydney kept earning the right to have its heart broken again and again and again. Supporters don't fall in love with premierships. They fall in love with football clubs. The jumper you wore as a kid, the player whose number you had on your back, the walk, the song, the colours appearing across a city when September arrived. You bring the club into your world until it becomes a part of it. These losses never destroyed them. They showed you how resilient this team was. Because what Sydney built was never inside a premiership cup. The cup was the reward, never their identity. As we approach another September, 2 home finals are earned and the SCG awaits. Then across one night, everything changed. Changes had to be made, not a reaction. This was a proclamation. Some looked at what Sydney lost and saw a campaign now over, because it's easy to say players matter, talent matters, and while that is true, football does not stop being football because we want a better story. Culture, if it means anything, cannot belong to an individual player. It cannot belong to 22. Every single player who wears the jumper eventually takes it off. Yet the club still remains. This weekend, more will be asked to wear it and show who they can be. For this team, the Bloods culture cannot be something Sydney only talks about when everything goes right. It has to survive absence. It has to survive mistakes. It has to survive defeat. Otherwise, it isn't culture, it's circumstance. And it didn't break across those agonizing grand final losses. And soon the lights will come on at the SCG. The gates will open, and this city will turn red and white. Tens of thousands will walk through those gates, not because they're promised a premiership, but because Sydney takes the field. Once they cross that line, they're all for Sydney. Maybe true love wasn't 2005, maybe it wasn't 2012. Maybe love is coming back, after every time you got hurt, knowing exactly how bad that pain felt, and still choosing to love this team. Because trophies belong to seasons, and players belong to eras. But the clubs, they belong to people. This year isn't a question of if they can win. They've already proven they can. It's asking, when the path becomes harder, when the names change, and when heartbreak knocks at the door, what remains? The city, the people, the jumper, the club. Those players on that field become the city. This city has become the club. And that blood is Sydney. And Sydney is unbreakable.